Hi guys, I'm Mark and I'm an Oyster Boy, and today I'm going to be making a Malt Miller true to style kit. This is going to be the Nelson Sauvin and Strata Summer Hazy Pale, or Hazy Summer Pale, can't quite remember now. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to add a 100 gram packet of Phantasm into the whirlpool and see if it makes any notable difference to the aroma and or the flavour. I think it's mainly aroma that Phantasm will be for. And we'll do a side-by-side for the two because I've made one as normal and I'm making this one with Phantasm. So I'm going to show some footage of me brewing it and then we'll get together with Penny at the end for a tasting. Catch you soon. So for the water treatment on this beer, I've gone for the Hazy IPA water profile built into the Grainfather app. The kit comes with torrefied wheat, oat flakes, extra pale malt for the malt bill, and Nelson Sauvin pellets, Strata for flavour and aroma, and some Hallertau Magnum for bittering. I've swapped the yeast for Tropicale, and we're going to be mashing that at 68 degrees for 60 minutes and 75 degrees for 10 minutes. Bittering hops have just gone in, and the whirlpool has just been chucked in there as well. This is me adding the Phantasm powder, and now we're going to head over to Penny and do the review. Hi guys, I'm Mark.
I'm Penny.
And we're the Oyster Boys again, and today we're doing a video to check, or not to check, as a bit of an experiment really, about what will happen if you take a beer kit that you already know you like, and you add Phantasm as an addition in the whirlpool.
It's like a powder that you... Okay.
Yeah, it's a powder made from the skin of grapes, which has some magical properties. And also swap out the yeast from S-33 to the Tropicale yeast.
So it's a big yeast. It's a big boy yeast. Big
boy yeast. It's $13.95
so what this
for a
yeast specialises in hoppy beers, brings out the better flavours?
It will bring out some tropical flavours, and it's meant to be good at releasing bound thiles. And then what you use the Phantasm powder in is to put those thiles in.
Bound thiles?
There's lots of videos out there from people that will explain
but
it
people
want to
know. People want to learn from us on a basic. You know when you get ChatGPT and you go, here's a 15 essay. Yeah. Can you get that in a paragraph?
Not from me.
Oh.
I'll put some stuff at the bottom of the screen about it. They're basically flavour and aroma compounds that don't really get released in a beer from the normal yeast. Whereas these kind of yeasts will release them.
That's perfect.
And what you're doing with Phantasm is you're adding these.
It's like the catalyst.
Yeah, pretty much, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
But
we've just compressed it in a thing.
So
you don't need to go find those other videos, you've explained it.
So we've got two beers here. One is the Hazy Summer Pale, which is going to pour like a nightmare on this party tap. Okay. And the other, oh God.
You got two party taps?
I've got two party taps, yeah. The other one is the Hazy Summer Pale, which will also pour like a nightmare off this party tap. But this one, so keep your eyes peeled on which one's where. It's like Chase the Lady. Is the one that is done with the Tropicale and Phantasm.
Okay, so when you were obviously they were above each other in the same fridge.
Yeah.
So exactly the same conditions. Did you see anything different in the fermentation process that was happening? I mean, they look fairly similar.
They look fairly similar. I mean, I'll probably try and top this one up a bit for you. So the fermentations went pretty similar. Yeah. You could tell a difference in the look of the two beers when they're in there. I've really messed it up here.
It's okay.
You could tell a difference in the look of the two beers. The one with Phantasm in looked like almost like milky in the fermenter. Okay. It was a lot more like opaque.
That's
I think
probably
all those thiols just mingling around and coming out. But I've not really tried it that much. I'm trying not to touch these kegs because if you want to use one of them for wedding and stuff. So I think we just kind of need to look at them and go, so this is the normal one. We've just tasted this. We've just done a review on this, but we'll wet our whistles with it again. Smells fresh, smells fruity.
Good beer.
Solid beer.
So are we doing an oyster score, or is it just to see the
I think we just need to see, what's the difference? Is it worth doing it? I mean, that's a
100 grams is a lot of powder to put in something.
Not really, because you're adding it in the kettle, and it's going to get, you whirlpool with it, so you're leaving it in there for like 20 minutes, 80 degrees, and it's going to stay in there. And I think that the smell
But I can't really smell because I'm sort of...
Yeah, well, that's...
Calm down, it's alright. It's not your fault. I won't blame you for it.
I think this one, you've got like some guava-y notes. You get more of like a gummy, if that makes sense, like a gummy smell off the beer. I mean, it's not worlds apart and miles different, but perhaps that's because this one smelled great anyway.
Yeah, it does.
So you're not comparing like, you know...
I think you might just get a bit more like indistinctive notes coming from
but it's more like, there's definitely more to it. There definitely is more to it.
I think the Strata comes out a bit harder.
Yeah, that dankness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that...
Just a stronger overall passion fruit flavour that you get maybe compared to this one, whereas you get a little bit of like an, not piffy, but orangey smell, where this is almost more like a tropical smell.
It's like marmalade almost, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then this one is far more tropical. I'm going to go for a taste.
Yep.
Cheers. Cheers. So, cheers. Now, I think that does taste a lot, actually a lot different. Almost like a winey type. Not in a bad way, not like it's gone way too far. It's smoother, definitely
it's
smoother
more
to
refined.
drink. Yeah, it's smoother to drink. I think the mouth feels nicer on this one than this one. And yeah, I think
that was silky anyway. This is like
extra silky. Yeah,
extra
silky.
If you were to buy that toilet roll, like it's, you know, they had to kill 4 puppies for it instead of 1 for that.
Don't get me wrong,
the puppies.
They are both really drinkable beers.
Yeah.
What I would say is, this beer cost £25.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
To make for 40 pints. That worked out 62.5p a pint. This beer, we've added £9.50 packet of Phantasm, so 100 grams of Phantasm.
Yeah.
And we also added the Tropicale Yeast, which was £13.95. Now, take off a couple of quid because we're not using the packet of S-33, so that goes in the fridge and that can stay and be used for another beer.
Yeah.
So really what we're doing is we're adding 20 quid onto the price of a £25 kit. So we're going from £25 to £45. Takes the price per pint from 62.5p to £1.12.5. And that's a really, really big jump. I don't think necessarily with this kit, the price point difference is represented in the beer.
It's definitely not worth it.
At the end.
It's not worth it.
But I think if you were doing a kit, if you were making your own recipe and you had like, because it's really, you can spend easily 60, 70 quid to make a big hoppy beer.
Yeah.
I think what you could probably do is use less hops in that hoppy beer and add this and get more out of it. Would be my thought.
Maybe you could, but that's a maybe.
Both great.
Yeah, but it's definitely not. It's almost double the price. It's not double the price better. It's not double as good.
Yeah, that's what I mean for this beer. Probably not. But I think there's definite applications.
I think you're being very, very generous to the product.
Well, I mean,
would you use it? Would you buy this product again?
I would buy it again.
Would you?
But what I'd buy it again, and I'd test different ways of using it because you might meant to be able to use it with like SARS and Medina Bavaria and stuff like that. Hops that aren't normally hops that you would use for tropical flavours.
Okay.
And extract some tropical flavours out of it.
Okay.
I chose this kit to use because everywhere I was looking, everything I was reading was saying that Nelson Sauvin has got a good working relationship with Phantasm. Like you'll get a lot out of it from doing that. And yeah, there are differences.
Slight.
But I don't know whether the differences would be there if we'd just used the Tropicale yeast and not the Phantasm. Because, you know, that yeast itself is going to leave some tropical flavours in the beer. Or is it just specifically the combination of the Tropicale and the Phantasm that has made this work? Now, like I said, I really like how this has been left with the mouthfeel, the smoothness. I think there's definite
the mouthfeel's
extra
slightly better.
Stuff in the aroma that, you know, I can't really put my finger on. And I do think the flavours are deeper in this version of the beer.
Slightly.
Yeah. But is it worth almost doubling the price of the kit?
No.
I don't think so. But if you're making a beer that's already 60 quid, what's an extra tenner?
Yeah, but that's scale of
what's an extra tenner? Because if you were doing a 60 quid...
What's an extra tenner? Well, an extra tenner is 2 pints at the pub.
Yeah, it is, but when you're drinking it at home, it's not a bother. Because the thing is, as well, like, you know, you're already going to be spending, if you're doing a big kit like that, you're already going to be spending 10 quid on the yeast. So you might add £1 or £2 more for the yeast. It's just the Phantasm is going to be your extra cost.
I think if you're at £55 and you need to make up £10 in the malt miller order, I would buy a pair of socks and some caps, not this powder.
That's fair enough.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I really don't think it's worth it. You think it's due?
I think it's worth it if you probably do more to make sure you're using it for the right application.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is definitely a better beer.
Yeah.
It's definitely a better beer. I can't argue this is not a better beer. By the way, I'm pointing at the one with the extra
Phantasm in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Phantasm and the Tropicale Yeast.
Yeah. It's definitely a better beer. But what I'm saying is, it's not double as good as that beer.
Oh yeah.
And I get you saying that. I understand what you're saying there, because it's a sort of price competitive kit. The price of this sort of outshines.
It blows it out of the water, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it makes them as good. And then maybe if you were doing a beer kit where it was only 20% more expensive, then maybe you have the argue. But I still don't think it's 20% better.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
Do you?
I think we need to experiment more with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to write it off, and I'm not going to say it's bad, because it is good. It has improved the beer. I just think it's probably worth doing on
the beer.
It's worth doing on a beer where you're already spending a lot on it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably where I would go with it. But you know, I'm open to suggestion if people want to tip it up away.
Yeah.
I'm happy to try things, so you don't have to try.
I think we've been pretty. I think that we've been pretty open with trying, kits so people can.
Yeah.
See what it's about.
And I think, with this one as well.
And give honest, because if everything's brilliant, if people.
Yeah, you don't want to give 10 for everything. But I would still say with this, I think the best thing about this, even though I do like what the Phantasm and the Tropicale have done to it, the best thing about this is the underlying beer. It is the true to style summer hazy kit. Without that, yeah, I mean, it was a great place to start from. I'm not surprised it's not that much better, because the kit was already really good. Yeah. So that's kind of our review of Phantasm and Tropicale, what it adds to a beer. So if you have got suggestions on what we could do better to make it work better for us, because we're not the experts, we're just two guys that drink beer, or you want to see us try other things, put it in the comments down below and we'll pick some stuff up and get it out. But thanks very much. We'll catch you on the next one.
Okay.
Oysters out.